Hi guys, I am Joshua Sutherland. I am what you call the LucMetal master according to most people now.
I would agree.
I'm here. I'm here to discuss LucMetal versus Peak. So, how you start it? You usually want to go like you want to go first. You want to start Zacian because going first, you go attach metal energy to Zacian, Intrepid Sword. If you can get another metal on a Zacian or more, that's really good. Because then you can, after they electrify, you can just force Brave Blade on the Volton, then they have to go into peak. And then once you peak, go like, for example, Mallow Lana, and then you can like set up like a full metal wall on a peak. And then from there, they just have like Choo Choo and maybe another Bolton eventually if they haven't used Coco yet. But if you can just form a wall and kill their Boltons, like you can really limit their resources and stuff. Also, if they only play one swell, like I am, one plant is probably can probably stick for a while if they don't draw their swell in their opening hand. Also, two Cynthia Cates and four Tag Calls to get back Mallow Lana is insane. And also conserve your saucers because if they hammer and you don't have like a response to like saucer, it's pretty bad.
So I have a question about going first.
Um, what's up?
So we're going first because we want to Intrepid Sword, correct?
Correct.
Does it ever cross your mind that, hey, what about going second to prevent the electrify, or is that just awful?
Um, I don't like going second strictly because they can set up a full blitz on turn two and accelerate more energies along with like just flood the board with energies immediately. And I don't I haven't been a fan of going second against Peak for that reason.
That makes sense.
But I don't know. Me and Mike Cruchet, like I saw on Mike Cruchet's video, we have different sides. So, but in my opinion, I think going second with LucMetal is terrible.
I have another
So,
question about deck thinning in this matchup. So they're going to
mhm,
reset Stamp and Marnie you like all the time, right?
correct.
How?
We're gonna do Marnie / Stamp to 3 multiple times.
Oh yeah. How aggressively are you discarding cards? Because with no research, you're not really thinning your deck. So it's like every chance you get to, discard, or you just like throw stuff away, or do you like to keep certain pieces?
It depends on the cards. Like for example, if you have a Swell and a Scythian Kate in your hand, you can discard the Swell because that's dead in the matchup. You just want to get plan out as quickly as possible to slow them down. Because if they're playing 1 to 2 Swells, it's gonna get bumped like very quickly.
Eh,
But also okay, sorry, go ahead. What were you
Oh,
gonna ask me?
I was going to ask about tool choices too. So,
Oh,
do you
sure.
like what's your preference in this matchup to be attaching to who?
Um Capes to the Zacians and then Goggles to the LucMetal because Cape only works on Zacians. So you get more HP out of it, and usually if you can get a full metal wall, it's like a 3 shot either way. But usually, honestly, it wouldn't probably doesn't matter because it's a 3 shot regardless, depending on the situation. But usually, capes on Zacians and goggles on metal.
Okay, so in theory, you want to prioritize. Like, let's say you Guzma Hala and you have a choice for your Zacian. Do you usually want to choose Cape?
Yes, you usually want to choose cape.
Okay, that's something I've always wondered. Is there anything else major
Gotcha.
in this matchup where you're like, obviously you've talked about the full metal wall into the Mallow Lana, hopefully setting up a Zacian by turn 2. But is there anything else in this matchup that you're like, this is a pretty important rule, or this is a general good thing to do?
I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I have. I think I've explained pretty much anything that we can think of. Like, I guess another thing is if you can wall behind dolls while you're not set up, just get a bunch of dolls out and just set up with Intrepid Sword. Don't ever attack unless it's like safe. You're KOing a Bolton.
So, ooh, that's another good like thing to bring up. How often are you going like 2-2-2, like KO Bolton, KO Bolton, KO Dedenne, versus like KOing a tag team or two?
Usually, what I do in that matchup is I KO Bolton, I full metal wall a peak, then I steel fist the peak, and then I Malwana into Zacian again if it's set up by then to Brave Blade a peak. And then if they stamp me, and then usually which I know that sounds scary because then they can just go stamp to 1. But if I have the option, I usually just KO the peak, and then if they stamp me to 1, usually stamp to 1 doesn't hurt too bad because you play like 4 tag calls, you have Cynthia Caitlin, and you can still Intrepid Sword to pretty much draw out of it if depending on the Cynthia or Bolton for game, something like that.
That makes sense. That's another one that I'm kind of like, I think I'm just generally unsure of. Like, do I want to hit the peak or do I
Yeah.
just want a boss game?
Yeah, sometimes boss bossing game is fine too, but how I usually play this, if I don't have the choice to boss game, I guess, is I just Steel Fist the peak and then I Brave Blade the peak. If there's no big charm on it, I should say.
That makes sense. So are you more afraid of a big charm on a PikaRom? Right, this was something that happened when Mike and I did it. We had big charmed the Bolton to prevent the Steel Fist into heavy impact play. But are you more afraid of it going on the PikaRom?
I'm definitely more afraid of it going on the peak wrong, as then I have to go Brave Blade, or Heavy Impact Brave Blade.
Okay. I'm going to remember that one.
Which is
Awesome. Well, thank you. And let's go ahead and
okay.
check out this game.
And as we can see, my hand is pretty insane going first. As I have 2 dolls, the Metal Energy, and a Goggles. We're not playing that swell down. So 2 dolls is gonna help a lot when in their games where they just chain Marnies mid to early game. Got the energy attachment. Let's just say usually I would probably slap Goggles on here, but since you're not pressuring me immediately, I think I just go Intrepid.
Yeah, the PikaRom start from
And
my
we hit a
side
metal
probably
and a
isn't
cape.
scary.
Yeah.
My hand's bad. No, it's not. It's not great. Okay.
It's not great, but it's not.
It's very
just the
scary with the
Marnie.
2 energy Zacian staring me down. Here. You're going to smack me in the face next turn, so let's go ahead and grab. That was a misplay, probably. This. Uh-oh.
Did we just draw 2 switches?
Maybe.
I see that.
Unfortunately, there wasn't much else going on.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, but that's not. Okay. Well, we ended up getting our 3rd doll. So we will go.
So in this
Let me see
matchup, you're
what's
not
in.
afraid to bench dolls. You're just like, shove them all down.
No, just get them down because they give you time against the matchup when when you just don't have much. Let's see. I think we grabbed. You didn't do much, so I think we do these. And we can play the second tag call to get LucMetal. Let's see. Get 2 LucMetals here.
So why have you chosen those cards specifically?
The first one is I'm gonna Guzma Hala because the first tackle was for sending Kate and Guzma Hala, and then LucMetal because I'm gonna Guzma Hala these to get a relevant card out. And what do I have here? Okay. And then next turn I can go Cynthia and Caitlin, discard a card I get off Intrepid Sword to get back the Guzma Hala. That was my plan in the long run. So I think here. Yeah, we can cape here. Since you attached there, maybe a full metal wall isn't horrible here. And we can just Intrepid. Ooh,
Yeah, that was going to be my
okay.
question. Do we ever attach to the LucMetal or do we attach to the Zacian to threaten?
I think the LucMetal would be fine here because you attached to peak last turn, but I could also be completely wrong. But I don't think I am. Let's see what you do here. Okay, you got the Bolton. Your
I think I'm going
balloon.
to go big. Well,
Ooh, I like big.
I think I might have messed up. We'll
Energy.
see. We did not.
Oh, were you?
I was debating between the balloon on the peak to hard retreat it, but like I've got outs. I've got more balloons. Like, this seems fine because this will give me a response to you.
Yes. Oh, and we hit the third switch. Nice.
And a hammer. Gosh, I'm so skilled.
Damn it. So good at this game, Mellow.
Yeah, you've played 0 Marnies. Yeah, I'm down 3 switch. There we go. So I've successfully disrupted you quite a bit here. So what do you do? Like, I just keep preventing the Zacian from doing anything.
So here, I think we go Cynthia and Kate, discard the Swell because Swell is irrelevant here. We just get back to draw 3. Okay, that's not bad. The Goggles. Just in case you want to try and hammer off here, you can go there and trap it.
So why did you attach to the LucMetal instead of the Zacian?
My thought was I was just gonna boss up the peak because you're down 3 switches, so you would need your 4th switch to get out of it, and then I can just go Steel Fist Braidblade and then eventually clean the Volton later. If you were down less switches, I was gonna attach to the Zacian, but you're down 3 switches and an air balloon, I might add.
Okay, so that makes sense. So you're looking at my resources and deciding like I've got a response in hand to just potentially body you.
So here, I'm just gonna boss the peak and just pull Metal Wallet. If I had a Saucer in hand, I would have just KO'd the Volton because I had a switch in hand, but because you hammered the energy, I think Full Metal Wall is correct here.
How many? This is awkward.
Then discarding up all. Oh, you're down both stamps now. Oh my gosh, for Marnie.
I'm being a little aggressive in this game, but I feel like that's where we're at.
I mean, you speed lightning into those 2 switches is hurting you now. So that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. So now we can go. Actually, I think we can set up another Zacian. Start setting up another Zacian here. We're gonna go these. No, go these. No, we need discard fodder here. So I'm gonna go here, quick ball to Guzma Hala. Set up another Zacian. Then we can go bench. Let's see. Saucer. I can just hold on to this for now for next turn. So sitting Kate, or not sitting Kate, Steel Fist. Accelerate. The next turn we can go Cynthia Caitlin, get something back and draw 3.
So what made you decide there, like, this is the time to set up another Zacian? Is it having the tool in the saucer? Is it just like, I just need another one?
It's because I drew the saucer and I have a goggles, so I can just get a clean Zacian going. Plus, this one's already has 160 on it. I didn't want to have to rely on a damage Zacian eventually. I just thought having multiple attackers is just, as you know, is pretty good. So, let me see what you got. Okay. Draw. That's a good discard draw. So then Cade score quick ball, get boss back. Okay. That was a little awkward. That's okay. I think you haven't shown me Big Charm, so I'm going to Intrepid Sword and Steel Fist again.
So I assume when you say that,
good.
because the math doesn't change unless I have a Big Charm to attach.
Correct, yes.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you haven't shown me you played a Big Charm yet, but if you slap the Big Charm down, then yeah, it's whatever. Research, another boss.
Feels bad, but I think you're applying enough pressure where I had to do that. Yikes. Yeah, there's a lot of gas in the deck. I'm gonna be honest. There. Pass.
Oh, okay. So here, since you hit the Big Charm, you can just go capture. Down. Okay. Heavy impact. You haven't shown me much pressure yet, so I'm just gonna pressure you with the 2-shot now. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, from my end, things are not looking up. Not what I would call good. I mean, I knew that, but it doesn't feel good.
Attach. Let's see. I guess you can just Marnie.
So is there a reason you chose not to use the switch there?
Yeah, because I'm just gonna heavy impact for a KO here.
So there's no reason to take your LucMetal out of harm's way.
No, because you're still not showing me that you can KO yet. I don't think. 30, 60, 90, 150, 60 minus 60. No, yeah, you can't KO with Voltund. Unless I'm doing my math wrong. 30, 60, 90, 80, 51. Oh, okay, yeah. That's
No, I believe you're correct.
yeah. I'm triple checking now. I'm just like, am I doing this right? Okay, Choo Choo comes up. Kind of got me stuck here. That surprisingly. But you are down. Oh, you still have one switch left. Okay.
Yeah, there's still one switch, one blue left.
If that's the case, well, the hand's too stuck for me to do anything else, so I have to Intrepid.
Gosh, Intrepid Sword's so good.
Yeah. Let's see here. Lightning Ride. 369, 20 to 80. So now here, we're going to bring this one up. So,
Okay, I was about to ask why
Tag
the damaged
Call.
one, but
Because I think you know, we all know why on this one.
yes, as soon as I
Because we're
looked
gonna do
over and
this.
saw the tag call in hand, I was like, Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Go there. I think there. And this one up. Beyblade.
So assume at this point in the game, you're like, I don't need a Guzma Hala for an energy. I don't need any more tools, so you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm set to where I'm pretty sure I'm good to go at this rate. And you have not missed a hammer though.
Fortunately, I don't think it's gonna matter. Gosh, you have 3 switch left and a Mallow Lana and 3 saucers.
Yeah, you hitting those 2 switches off that speed lightning was bad. And me conserving my switches is good.
Oh yeah. I guess we go here. We're gonna YOLO it and say maybe you ain't got it like that.
As of right now, I don't. I have the switch. Oh, nope, now I have it. Never mind.
Well, that works.
I'll just top deck it like a champ.
I mean, to be fair, at a certain point, once you have enough gas left, you're pretty good.
Yeah, like my deck was pretty much perfect, where I thinned it enough to where I could just draw it. But still, that was kind of funny.
So what are some things in that game that you feel like, because obviously you've said multiple times the idea that I had to get rid of my switches, which as anyone who watched the Fouché video knows, that is terrible. And it's very arguably a misplay by me. I missequenced, which is stupid, but that's fine. That's my fault. So you talked about the resource management and stuff like that. What are some other things that came up in that game that you think are like textbook of like, this has to happen?
Like when you tried to Tatum shock me, like most of the time, if I don't have a Mallow Lana and you can KO me next turn after the Tatum shock, I can get set back pretty hard if I don't have the right pieces like to combat it. But other than that, I think we've covered majority of it, to my knowledge.
That makes sense. So in theory, that's about how the matchup should go. Obviously, there's a bit of an electrify, stuff like that that typically happens, but you're still
Yeah,
applying pressure
like
with your Zacian in the active and keep going, keep going.
I was gonna say, if there's times where I'm just not drawing energy at all off of my Intrepids, no, obviously not that game. I do very well that game, but if I'm not drawing as well, they can, like what Mike did against me, he can just go electrify multiple times and then just set up a board that I just cannot deal with because he has energy everywhere.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So if you're not hitting those energies, it suddenly becomes a little more awkward of like, now I have to do something besides, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Any other closing thoughts on the matchup?
Closing thoughts. Just play it. If both players play it conservatively, like they manage their resources well, it's a very close matchup. That's all I really have.
I would agree. I would agree for sure. It is it is definitely something that it's a lot of fun. Like when I actually sit down and I'm thinking about it and playing it, I really enjoy this matchup quite a bit.
It's actually one of the fun ones, surprisingly, especially since this format isn't the greatest right now. But this is actually a fun one to watch.
Oh, I agree. So, where can the people find you at?
You can follow me on Twitter. I will. Let me find it. It's at Joshua S with a lot of numbers that I never remember. I haven't bothered to change my Twitter handle.
I'll make sure to link it in the or not the comments, the description then. That way people
Okay,
can just click it.
so you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Joshua S26780532. You can follow me on Facebook, Joshua Sutherland, and Discord is Joshua Sutherland 9690. I'm very easy to get in touch with. I'm not super picky on my name, so you can follow me on those three. And I'm Sotherbrow on Twitch if you want to say hi to me if I'm ever lurking in somebody's stream.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking your time out and to walk us through this matchup. And audience, we'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.